So just jumping on here to talk about a little trick I learned about my Ibanez. So these modern Ibanezes have what is called the Edge 3 tremolo system. Some of them do, not all of them. And basically what that is back here in the back we have this rolly wheel and then like this spring instead of a claw that attaches into the body, right? So there's like this spring, this rolly wheel, and then like a rod and counter rod, and it kind of just like locks into itself to keep it from going. And it's a nice, in my opinion, modification to the overall Floyd Rose design. But the only problem is, like all Floyd Rose systems, is you're then stuck with the tuning that you're in unless you go through all the pain of the springs and the strings and all that. And so what I wanted to do for this guitar and my blue one right here, because they both have that Edge 3 tremolo system on them, is I wanted to find a way to kind of lock it down. And so I was looking at the Tremolo, and I was looking at some other alternatives to locking the tremolo system down. And I really just didn't find one that I could just say, yes, that's what I want. And so I started looking on the GEM site, website forums, and some other Ibanez forums, user forums about these guitars. And I read that if you lock by, I'm undoing my straps right now. If you lock down the pinion system in the back with like a zip tie or with a wire or something like that, you can keep it from moving. And so that's what I've done here. So take a look. This isn't going to work for a standard. This isn't going to work for a standard Floyd Rose. It's only going to work for these types of Floyd Rose. So this is like the modern Ibanez iteration of a Floyd Rose. And essentially what you do is you have a bar that comes down, and that's the actual floating tremolo system, right? And it hits this other bar. And what you do is you're going to zip tie this bar to that bar. And so essentially you get a hardtail. So now I can still move it a little bit. Yeah, so I can move it a little bit. It's got a little bit of play, but not much there, just a little bit. And so the reason why I wanted to do that is because I love this guitar. I love fine tuners, all that, right? I just hate fucking with a Floyd Rose system. And so this guitar was in drop C, D drop C tuning, 30 minutes ago. And I tuned it up to E flat, drop C sharp. So we're in E flat, drop C sharp. So what I want to do is I want to actually tune it down. So we're in E flat, drop C sharp. I mean, I don't know how I could do it. I guess like that. You can see the tuning on the thing right there. Yeah, it's C sharp. We're in C sharp. And so what I'm going to do is talk to you and tune it down. And the reason I wanted to do this is so that I could play multiple tunings on the same guitar, and the only thing I'll have to do is just change the truss rod, just give it a slight nudge. So we're going to D, drop C. That's where this guitar was before I did the modification. It was in drop D or drop C, D, and the cool thing about this modification, it's not like a permanent thing. It's just, all you gotta do is cut the zip ties off. We are now in D, drop C. We are now in D, drop C, if you can see that. I hope you can see that. just like that. And this is a full Edge 3 tremolo system. And all I did was put zip ties attaching this bar to that block. I did it in X. So like you got the bar coming across and then the block like this. So I did a zip tie this way and a zip tie that way. So the bar comes and hits and stops on that bar, zip tie this way and a zip tie that way. And that's it. I effectively made my guitar a hardtail by doing that mod. Now zip ties cost nothing. You know, like $1 for a pack of 30 or something like that. $5 or something like that. And so I did it to this guitar and did it to that guitar in 5 minutes. And then if you saw in the close-up, I actually have foam in there for the springs to get so that whenever I'm genting around, you know, chugging, the springs won't make too much noise. So that's an Ibanez Edge 3 tremolo modification that'll make it a hardtail. And why would you want to do that? So you could do what I just did. It took me 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes, to tune this guitar down from E flat to C, you know, D. I mean, you got to go back and retune them, you know, to get them perfectly right. You know, I mean, as any tuning change on any guitar, because the neck's gonna settle. But what I used to do with these Ibanez is I have 4 of them, and 2 of them have these Edge 3 tremolos. Is I'd have 1 in each tuning, so 1 in E, 1 in E flat, 1 in C, and 1 in D. Right? That's the way I did these guitars, and it sucked because I'd want to play this green one, but it was in this tuning, or I'd want to play this white one, but it was in that tuning. I'd want to play this blue one, and it was in that tuning. And what made me decide to do that is this guitar, the Holcomb. It's got a hardtail. I can tune it anything I want it to be. Doesn't matter. Doesn't care. The guitar doesn't care. But the Ibanez is because of the tremolo systems on them. You know, you have to baby it. And so it's a pain in the ass to deal with that. So it's a real simple mod. I mean, Edge 3 tremolo system and 2 zip ties and you're set. That's all there is to it. So, let's see how much play we have in it. So it has just a little bit of play, and I think that's because the pieces of metal, when they contact each other, have felt on the contact point so that they don't clack. Whenever you drop the tremolo, doesn't clack. It hits this felt and silences it. And that felt has a little bit of give, a little bit of play to it. So I think that's why it has a little bit of play, is because the felt pieces that are there for the contact. Now, I think if I remove the felt and then re-zip tied it so it's metal to metal, it probably wouldn't make that little tiny amount. But I'm okay with this. This is fine because with this guitar, I can change tunings, play that song, change tunings, play this song. And it doesn't matter, and I get everything I want. I get my fine tuners, and I love this guitar. It's my favorite guitar. You guys know that. This is my baby. And so not being able to play it because of tremolo and I'm out on this song because I'm in the wrong tuning was a big bummer. And so I've started looking for easy ways to do it. You know, a tremolo costs $50, and I'll probably end up getting one for this white Ibanez and maybe this green one right here. I'll probably get tremolo for those guitars, but for these Edge 3s, all I had to do is zip tie it. And it's awesome because, you know, you want to be able to play a guitar, but you can't because you're in a different tuning. But you know, I don't think the tremolo would work on this. You have to like drill a hole in it. No, man, don't do that. Just put some zip ties in there. You know, zip tie the block to the rod and you're done. That's it. You can change tunings all day long. On another note, the fact that there's felt on the metal to metal contacts, I get why it's there, because it keeps the metal from clacking whenever you drop the tremolo. When you dive bomb and let go, I'm sure it would snap and hit really hard. But my question is, in terms of tone and vibration, wouldn't that be dampening the tone transfer from the block of the tremolo to the rod and that's fixed to the guitar? With all that felt in there, I think it's deadening the guitar. And the same can be said with my foam that I have in here, right? I mean, You really can't tell, but when I take these 6 bolts off and remove the plate, there's like maybe 10 or 12 foam strips in there keeping the springs from vibrating. And so it's a trade-off. Whenever you're jinting around, you get that spring harmonic resonance. But I know that whenever you foam it up, you lose harmonic resonance, right? So either way, that's how you fix these guitars if you want to have it usable and not have to be babysitting a tremolo system all day long, a Floyd Rose Edge 3 system or whatever, right? So for tones today, I went ahead and did it. I bought a Line 6 Amplifi TT here, and I made my own patch. This is my own patch I call Hoshek, which is Hebrew for like darkness, or a darkness that can be felt. It's not just like lights out. It's like lights out with like, you could feel the oppression, like it's hard to breathe. That's what the impression I get from the Hebrew word Hoshek. And I don't know how to share these yet. I've only had this for about 2 weeks. And my profile here, I love it. And so I went and modified the gain knob properties to make it more responsive. I don't think the neck pickup is exactly there yet. I need to change some of the EQ settings so that my neck pickup sounds a lot more authentic. It still sounds kind of woofy in here. So, you know, and that's how I like my tone is, you know, for me to enjoy a guitar tone, it has to sound great in the bridge, but also in the next single. If it sounds woofy in the next single, I'm not happy. And so I need to change some of the mid profile in my EQ settings. And that's the cool thing with something like this is because it cost me $150. I got a deal from Sweetwater. They had like a $50 off or $40 off coupon. I think they retail for like 200 and something. I ended up getting for $150. And, you know, I'm plugged into the headphone of my Scarlet Focusrite over here, my 18i8. This actually sits in my living room. So my wife is sitting on her couch. I'm sitting on my couch. And I got this plugged in with the headphones. And I've got a good saturated tone. It doesn't sound cheesy in my opinion. I mean, this is just my opinion. I have tube amps, you know, all behind me. I have a lot of tube amps and I really enjoy tube amps. I'm kind of a tube amp snob when it comes to these things. But, you know, this Line $650 desktop thing that I can just sit there on the couch and play and not have to worry about, am I too loud? My wife going to get annoyed? You know, all she's hearing is string sound. Pretty badass. I mean, I could travel with this. It's a little bit bigger than the iPad. It's actually bigger than I think it needs to be. It's a Mini 2 iPad, and so it's longer than the Mini 2 and thick. But you know, I feel like I could travel with it, right? Like if I had one of those Ibanez micro guitars, which I probably want to get one of those soon. I want to get a micro for sure. And then this thing in my suitcase, you know, I could have a pretty awesome travel rig that wouldn't necessarily be like big. But then again, you know, that's the thing, right? Like whenever you go travel, I want to take this guitar, but I couldn't because it was locked in D tuning with drop C in a fucking Floyd Rose. And so now that I have the Floyd Rose locked in there with those zip ties, I don't have to worry about that anymore. I can travel with this guitar, show up, and if someone's an E or F or C or D or G or A or B, I can tune into that, you know, and it just takes a second. So that's really cool because like when I would go to Dallas to visit my father-in-law, you know, I'm trying to teach him how to play guitar, I would take a Gibson, and you know, the Gibson, because it has a stop tailpiece and all that, you can put whatever tuning you want, right? But I don't like playing Gibson, but he likes to play Gibson. So I bring him one of my Gibsons on the wall here, and then now I can just bring this for me. You know, this is my guitar. I feel comfortable with it. I'm happy with it, and I can tune whatever I need it to be and not have to worry about the tremolo system. And so I could like sit down, put him in like E flat to learn this country song or something like that. Then I can tune to E flat and teach him directly, line for line, right? And if he wants to learn another song, change to Gibson tuning, and then I can change the tuning of this guitar, right? So it's like having a stop tailpiece by locking that tremolo. And it's really a no-brainer trick that I honestly, maybe I'm embarrassed to say this, I looked for hours, like for about a day and a half, on how to effectively stop this from being a tremolo, this from being a Floyd Rose. And the answer to that was to just block it. Or not block it, but you could block it, but I mean, there's a lot of bars and rods in there, so that's why I looked for another solution, which was to tie it to itself, right? So that locked it up. Anyways, that's been this video. That's this guitar. You know, I did that to the blue one, so the blue one and this guitar, and now you'll see me playing those a lot more because I don't care about the tuning anymore. They're just whatever tuning they wanted to be, and that was what a lot of the appeal was for this Mark Holcomb brisket burst model, the PRS SE, was the fact that it had a stop tailpiece and I could tune it anywhere I wanted to be. And now that I can do that with these two, the blue one and this guitar, I can, you know, not feel like I'm always playing the Holcomb burst, right? I can play other ones. So yeah, that's how you fix these guitars. If you're not into fucking with the Floyd Rose, you just take zip ties, 2 zip ties, and you X tie it to itself. There's a bar and a rod. You just tie them to themselves, over and under and over, tie really tight, and then I didn't even bother to clip off the edges. And you know, zip ties don't cost anything. So that's been this video. I'll catch you guys next week. Rock on. This is kind of like a guitar tip. And check out my new Line 6. Did you like the way that sounded? I mean, I'm a tube amp snob, and I know that pisses a lot of people off because a lot of people play these digital amp sim software setups. I really don't like them at all, but I love this one. This one sounds great. I think the Line 6 did a good job. I really wanted the Helix, but a Helix is like $1,400 or $1,700. And the software interface, this feels just like the Helix, so I'm okay with this. This is pretty cool. You know, I would like to maybe get another one, you know, have one in here and have one in there. They're so inexpensive, 150 bucks. I mean, that's cheaper than a guitar, you know. That's cheaper than an iPad. And so having 2 of these or something like that wouldn't be a problem. And then you could have 1 amp like this and 1 amp like that and run stereo. That would be cool, wouldn't it? That'd be pretty cool. I wonder if you can MIDI sync them together, like if you had 2 head units and you sync them together, right? And the cool thing is I can run this out into my hi-fi system in the living room. So, you know, this isn't like a go out and buy one or, oh my God, you have to have it. It's just, hey, this is what I did and I'm enjoying it. You know, I'm not trying to push this on you. Like I said, I got it from Sweetwater for $150, which is a great price. I mean, that was a no-brainer to me. It's like, well, I like my Yamaha THR stuff, and the control over it is kind of limited. I wish they would expand the control option parameters on the Yamaha THR. Like they need to refresh it. They need to refresh like a Yamaha THR2 series. And anyway, so since that hasn't happened, I went ahead and bought one of these because the THRs are $299. So you can catch them used for like $150, $250, but this was $150 and it's brand new. You know, it's got software. It syncs to my Bluetooth. I don't have to. I can leave this at the entertainment center with like a Line 6 G10, whatever the wireless rig thing, plugged into that, plugged into this, just turn my guitar on, turn that on, leave that in the entertainment center, plugged into the speakers in the living room, control it with my iPad back over here on my couch with my guitar wirelessly. You know, I mean, that's just badass. That's what Yamaha THR needs to have. In order to compete with this, and I'm not saying that they're in competition with each other because I believe Yamaha owns Line 6, right? So, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, they need to refresh that product and to bring it into this because this is awesome. This is really fun. And like the third preset I have here, which I believe is this one, it's like an ambient. I went in there to the ambient and I added a little bit of gain to it so it doesn't sound so sterile. Yeah, so that's my unit. can plug a foot switch system into it too. So I mean that's what I wanted for the THR, was a foot switchable option in there. And this does everything. You know, like if you're a church player, you could run that on preset 2 and then run like a gain channel preset 1 and a clean channel preset 3, and you'd be set. You'd have everything you need right here, and it's something that you can put in your guitar case if your guitar case was big enough, or in your gig bag, you know, or in a backpack, or in your wife's purse. It's that small, you know. It's really awesome. I really love it. And you can set your presets 1, 2, 3, 4 on the machine and never have to like keep your iPad with you. Just, you know, hit presets 1, 2, 3, 4, or hit the foot switch. And the full customability, you know, I'll do a video on this device on its own. This video is more or less just about the strap thing. But anyways, yeah, I should probably go. You guys rock on. I'll catch you guys next video next week. Have a good one. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this trick helps you with your Ibanez. And you know, if you ever get tired of it, all you got to do is cut the zip ties out, and now you have full whammy function. But by just zip tying the whammy bar to itself, you never have to worry about it going out of tune. Anyways, I'll catch you guys next week. Rock on. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you like it. Give me a like. Peace out, y'all.